Good morning! So today is another beautiful day on the Hard. Super sunny, so we've got a couple of projects on the go today. Gotta make a little platform for the diesel tank because the one that we had in is soaked with diesel. And we finally don't have any diesel smell in the boat, so I don't want to put that one back in, so we'll build a new one. What else do we have? Oh yeah, I'm gonna measure a couple, figure out how many different hose clamps we need because we're gonna go shopping this weekend at the Brewers marine store in Hamilton, about an hour away from here. So we're making a huge shopping list so that we go once and don't have to go back there for another little while. So a couple of little things on the go. Should be a fun day, and it's really, really warm already.
Alright, well, we got our last hose that we needed to get out. This is our exhaust hose here. And as you can see, we really needed to get it out. This is the part that was basically at the water line, below the water line actually. So I don't know how there wasn't water coming in.
There's Corey working in the hole. Woohoo!
I like holes. Okay, so we're on our way to Hamilton, to Brewers Marine to pick up the rest of our stuff that we needed. And Alex made some epic sandwiches. Look at all that meat. Yum. And yeah, so we're going to pick up our fittings for our diesel tank and a bunch of other knickknacks that we needed from Brewers Marine. So it's gonna be awesome. We'll have everything we need and hopefully get in the water next week. Woohoo!
Done the shopping!
Woo! We got everything we needed. Well, minus a couple small things that we'll have to pick up at a different place. But we're all geared up. It's super exciting. Sorry we didn't film very much in there, but there's just too much to look at and too much shopping to do today.
It's so hot. We're taking a little bit of a break, got some ice cream, and we're enjoying the scenery around Lake Ontario. And we found that cool shipwreck that's been here for like 40 some years, if not more. And Corey's debating going swimming to it. Sometimes it's just nice to take a break from all of the boat projects because there's days that things just keep breaking and it seems like it's never gonna end.
Let's restore it. So this is our new sailboat. We're gonna slowly restore it. We are back on the boat after coming back from Brewers. Excuse the mess, it's always a state for the last 2 weeks, but that's just the way it is, living on a boat and working on a boat. But we got some really good goodies. I just wanted to go over and show you everything we picked up. So first off, we got a sweet diesel tank, nice and thin to go against our rails. Of course you can get the regular ones that are quite a bit larger or wider, but this is still a 20 liter and it's gonna fit a lot better on our boat. Alex really wanted this one. We also got some venting hose. We weren't sure on the length, so we ended up getting 8 feet because we thought maybe we could just make a splice and make do with the rest of the venting hose because it was still in good shape. But it was like 20 bucks, so cheap hose anyway, and it's better to have no connections in any fuel lines, as we were told very specifically, so we're going to listen to that bit of information. We also got, very exciting, a port light, or our other window that was cracked. So we're going to replace that. Let's open that up. Ooh, look how pretty it is! It's so pretty! No cracks. It's going to be much nicer. Alex is especially excited because it's right above the galley, so essentially where we're cooking and all the steam has to come out of our entrance, essentially. Now it can go out the window. It's going to be awesome. Can you guess what this is? There's another piece of hose. It's for our exhaust. What else we got? Okay, so we also got a fuel fill elbow. So this is going to allow us, because our fuel tank isn't, our fill hose isn't in the center of the boat, or the center of the tank, it's now at the one end of the tank, so we have to run our hose a little further, so this elbow is really needed. And another box of goodie. So we got a couple ball valves. This is the biggest one. Whoa, look at the beastly ball valve. So this is going to be really handy, because the turning valves, or the regular style valves, you can't tell if they're open or closed, because if there happens to be some corrosion or something inside and you turn them, you might think they're closed, but they might just be seized on some of that corrosion. So this ball valve, you can tell when it's closed, it's all the way in that 90-degree angle. And you can see it's nice and closed. And open, it's straight with the pipes, so you know it's open. So these are we have 3 of these, 2 1/2 inch and 2 1.5 inch. So we got those to replace our old ones, and we got a bunch of these because 2 hose clamps is like 1 hose clamp. If you have 1, it's essentially useless when you're talking about below the water line. So you really want to have 2 for extra safety. And we got one of these hatch covers because ours was damaged, so we're going to replace this.
We also got the filling line to attach to our brand new buoy.
So we're just remaking our bottom 3/4 inch piece of plywood for underneath our fuel tank, or our diesel tank rather. It was completely soaked in diesel. I mean, we probably could reuse it, but then we're just going to be smelling those fumes all the time. So instead of reusing that, we found some scrap pieces of wood around, and we're going to cut them up to shape. Board that we're going to mount our gas tank on, or our diesel tank. The old one is over there. It's full of old diesel. It's been leaking for years, so it's pretty much acted like a sponge. Now we have new ones that we cut up, 2 pieces actually, because this was just kind of scrounged around. And now we're going to paint, well, we've painted 1 layer, we're going to put on another, and that should at least keep a little bit more moisture from penetrating in. We've got our fill hose. This is going to connect to that brass fitting that was that 90-degree. So it's going to connect there, then go along, and we're going to bend it and put it into the fill cap over here. If you come over here, or actually I'll just show you this here. We also got a fuel sender designed with a return line built in, because our new gas tank doesn't actually have a return line. And if you don't know, you need a return line for a diesel tank. So if you just have a gas tank, a lot of the tanks already have this fuel sender, which essentially just gives you a fuel gauge and lets you know how much fuel you have left. But a diesel tank, you need the return line. If you don't have a return line, essentially you're just going to waste gas, because any excess gas is going to go back into your tank with a return line. So we got one of those. And over here, I've been kind of on a bit of a mission here to try to figure out how we're going to connect our intake, so our fuel going into our engine. So essentially we have a smaller, if you look here, we have a smaller intake than what we had on the old tank. This one's, I believe, a 7 7/16 fitting, and this one's a 5/16 fitting. So we essentially, I have to kind of MacGyver something. We're also going to grab an extra longer piece of hose from a hydraulic place in town. But essentially, it looks like the smaller end, I just found this out taking these pieces apart off of the old one, but all of these pieces have a 5/16 fitting and a 7/16 fitting. And it's just kind of how they work. So I think I'm going to be able to MacGyver a little bit of something here, and I'm going to be able to add this valve onto our tank, because our tank currently doesn't have a valve. So it's going to be perfect. We'll at least have our valve from our old tank, which will allow us to turn off the fuel to our tank manually without having any issues. That's kind of where we stand. I gotta change out this sending unit here. So we have this old gas sending unit that doesn't have the return line built in. It's just got your 2 connections for your gas gauge. So I'm gonna pull this out. It's got the float and all the other stuff that the other thing had, and we're gonna put the new one in. But we're probably gonna do that later because I think we're gonna go have a drink and enjoy ourselves. So we'll see you guys next time. Epic meal. Pretty sure this is the most epic meal we've had so far on the boat. We've got a nice broccoli salad here, and some pork and tomato and onions and garlic and lentils and olives, and oh, it just looks so good. And then we have a Corona with lime.